Hey guys, I want to welcome everyone to Texas Silver. This is going to be a long video, so I'm going to get right into it. We're going over, I've got some notes that I put, but I've got four different subjects that I'm kind of breaking this down into. So just bear with me. I have a lot of stuff that I want to show y'all, so hopefully it doesn't get too chaotic. But I appreciate everyone being here. So let's go ahead and get into this. So obviously winter is coming. And there's all sorts of stuff about energy crisis and all this garbage with inflation and stuff's going to get more expensive. So some of this stuff is going to be to help y'all survive in a scenario where you've been put into the elements and you need to be able to survive. Some of this is going to be just maybe some stuff to help you out with your energy bills and stuff like that with your house. Okay, I'm not gonna have it on this video. I've had it in the past. I did a video on it, but I do have a wood burning stove, and it's an actual fireplace insert. So when I bought the house, it had a huge fireplace, but 90% of the heat goes up the chimney and it's wasted. So I went and got a wood stove insert, and that thing is awesome. It can heat up to a 2,600 square foot house. This house isn't that big, but it pretty much heats the entire house. Definitely the common areas. I mean, it'll cook you out of here. But I would highly recommend, if you're able to, get a wood stove in your house. They are very efficient. They put out tons of heat, and it doesn't matter if you have power or not, that thing's gonna work. And you can also boil water, and there's all sorts of stuff you can do. But I'll put that in another video, or if you want, go back in the past and watch my other video where I talk about it. If you do have a wood stove, I would start getting that stuff now, as in wood fuel for whatever you burn in your stove. Okay, I want to talk about alternative fuel sources or heating sources to have in your house. So I have this, and I've showed this before on the channel, but it's the Portable Buddy by Mr. Heater. And well, I guess there's a glare on it. There you go. You can use this inside your residence. I would still highly recommend having carbon monoxide detectors. And like I said in my other video the other day, you always want to have redundancy. You don't want to rely on one thing. So I would have at least two, because two is one is none. So also with that, you can buy these pretty much any sporting goods store, Walmart, online, I believe, but these go to that. I don't have the adapter, but there is an adapter you can purchase to go along with that, and you can hook up the big propane bottles to it. So that's another thing. If you have propane bottles, I would go ahead and get them filled now. You don't want to mess with having to fill that up when everyone's in line and all that. Also, I remember when that huge storm came through here 2 years ago. I mean, people ran out of propane, and people waiting hours to get it. And I think they actually ran out to where people didn't even get it. So get that stuff now. So something you can do, say you're in a situation where the power goes down, you're having the rolling blackout thing, or you're just wanting to save money. What I do, a lot of times my kids just want to sleep in front of the wood stove. So I'll close off the doors to the rooms that they're not sleeping in. And just know that I don't turn on my heater. I don't think I've turned on the heater in this house probably 2 or 3 times in the last 10 years. But so what I'll do is I'll shut off rooms that we're not using. And so if you're in a situation where you're trying to save money, or say you're having rolling blackouts to where you only have limited power, use all your heating source to heat that one or two rooms. I would sleep everyone in the same room or a couple rooms. Another thing, I'm sure you've been at a concert or church or whatever, and the building is just getting hot from all the body heat. So that's something you can do. Just heat a portion of the house, or just like 1 or 2 rooms, and then have everyone sleep in that same room, because body heat's gonna help out with that. Also, if you get into a situation and it gets real dire, you completely lose power and you're in the house and you're getting cold, I'm sure everyone's had a significant other at one point that has cooked you out of the bed and you're pushing them off of you because they're cooking you. So if you need to, and I'm gonna go into sleeping bags in a bit, but jump under the covers with that individual or into the sleeping bag or whatever, and that will help. Your body heat will keep each other warm. Okay, so I'm gonna go into winter survival. So most of this is more geared towards you're out in the elements, you're out camping, or you just somehow find yourself stranded and you have this stuff. And just know where I learned a lot of this stuff was in the Marine Corps. I did winter warfare training up in Bridgeport, California, up in the mountains. And up there it got, I want to say it was like -30 at night. So this stuff, this isn't stuff that I came up with on my own. This is stuff that I've learned based off of training and stuff like that. And I've used this, and these techniques work. So the big thing that they harped on us is you always wanted to be comfortably cool. So let me explain that. So a lot of people want to be warm. Well, if you're hiking or moving or whatever, maybe even just sitting still, and you get too warm, you're going to start sweating. And so this is going to be kind of the theme of this, okay? Our bodies perspire because that's how our bodies cool ourselves off, okay? That's how the body cools itself down. So if you are wearing too many layers or whatever, you're going to start sweating. That's going to make you colder. So that's why they say you want to be comfortably cool. So if you're having to move, if you're hiking, walking around, having to cut firewood, whatever you're doing, you don't want to be hot because you're going to start sweating, and you're going to feel good because you're going to be warm, but then when your body starts to cool down, and because you're not burning energy, then that sweat is going to make you even colder. So you're going to be fighting your your body's natural ability to cool itself down. So you're just going to be cold. Another thing with layers. So if you go in layers as you warm up, you can take stuff off. So you don't want to go out there with just this Michelin Man jacket and maybe some undergarments, because it's either you're freezing or you're sweating your butt off. So you want to go in layers. You want to start with a polyester type undergarment. So polyester leggings, polyester shirts. And the reason why I say polyester is because polyester will actually wick the moisture away from your body. So you don't want that moisture held up against your body. You do not want to use anything that is cotton. I'm going to repeat that. Nothing that is cotton. You don't want to use cotton. Cotton absorbs moisture. Moisture is going to make you cold. So you want to have your first layer is going to be your polyester. Then outside of that, you can have some sort of wool blend, or a fleece, or an actual or fully wool. But I'm going to show you a couple things that I have. So this is walls, but this is, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a set of overalls. Got them at Walmart. If you want to spend twice the amount, get Carhartt. But these are really good. They do a wind, they have a wind block to them. So they cut down the wind, which also is gonna take away your heat. And then also I have the jacket that goes with it, okay? I don't think they're quite waterproof, but they're definitely water resistant, and you can add, I guess it's water repellents to the fabric. So you're gonna have your polypro, then you're gonna have maybe like a fleece underneath that, and then something like that. But then also, if you can, so this here is Vortex. You literally can be sprayed with a water hose and everything is just going to beat up and run off this thing. So this is the jacket, and then I also have the leggings portion, okay? And those also cut down, they create a wind barrier, which is also, like I said, gonna take away your body heat when the wind blows. So you wanna be in layers, you wanna have layers. That way you can, okay, I'm starting to warm up. Okay, I'm going to take off this. Okay, I'm getting warmer. I'm going to take the, oh, I'm starting to get cool. I'm going to put this back on. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm there. Okay, huge thing. Beanie. All right. 90% of your heat leaves your head. Okay, so this is like super important. It's going to cover your ears, protect your ears, and it's going to keep all your heat in. Plus, if you start to get warm, this is a quick item that you can take off and release some of that heat from your body. This is obviously a joke. I love that thing, but my real one, this one right here is a fleece one. It's Under Armour. I'm not endorsing Under Armour. It's just the one that I have. But I like these. These are skull caps, but you need one of these. This is super important. Okay. Another thing, you need a good set of gloves, and I would recommend them having maybe not waterproof, but at least a water resistant property to them, because again, if your hands get wet because you're in the snow or whatever, then your hands are going to get cold, and that's just, you just want to be able, the whole thing is moisture. You don't want your body getting wet. I'm going to keep repeating that. So you don't want to be sweating, and you don't want any part of your body to be getting wet from either snow or rain or moisture, whatever you're dealing with the elements. Okay, I would highly recommend a good set of gloves, and also I like the gloves where I'm able to ball my hand up inside, so I don't like, I'll have a couple sets. So if I actually have to work, then I want to be able to use my individual hands. But if you're just trying to keep them warm, consider having a shell that goes over that, or just a pair of gloves that are, stand alone, that you can keep your fingers touching each other. So when you separate them, they're not warming each other up. I don't know if I'm being clear on that, but it just helps to have your fingers all touching, because they help it's that body heat thing. So when they're alone in separate finger things, the slits in the gloves, then they'll get cold quicker. And this is what happens. This is why your extremities get cold first, because your body's going to take care of all your vital organs, your heart, your lungs, liver, all that stuff. So it's starting to take away blood from those extremities to make sure that the rest of the important parts of your body are staying warm. So that's why your fingertips and toes and feet start to get cold and frostbite and all that, because your body is taking the heat from those when it takes the blood to keep your other organs alive and functioning. Okay. Another thing, a good pair of boots. I would recommend that they are waterproof, because if you're walking through snow or walking through grass that has dew on it, or there's rain or whatever, when your feet get wet, they're going to get cold. And what do we talk about that? Okay, so the big thing is you want to stay dry. If anything on your body is getting wet or sweaty, that's when you're going to start getting cold. Okay, a lot of people don't realize, but boot polish has wax in it, and if you feel like your boots are no longer waterproof, or you're getting water inside your boots, hit some boot polish on there. That's going to give them their waterproof properties back. Okay. On the last thing is with your feet. Your feet are extremely important. That's how you're going to be moving around. You've got to keep them good. So with socks, you want to get a polyester liner, and then you want to put like a wool sock over that. So, and that also keeps you from getting blisters and stuff like that. But the polyester is going to wick the moisture away, and it'll evaporate off. But you just don't want that moisture held up against your feet, because then that's when you get blisters and all that. Another thing with wool, will still keep you warm if it gets wet. So again, please, no cotton. Like, I like cotton t-shirts, whatever, but cotton is not good for wintertime. Okay, so we're gonna go into sleeping in cold weather. Okay, so you obviously want to have a good shelter. If you're out camping or out whatever, you want to be out of the elements, out of the wind, if possible. And I talked about this the other day. You want a good sleeping bag. I would get a sleeping bag that's rated for your area. So say, you have freezing temperatures. I would get a bag that is rated at that, plus maybe another 20 or 30 degrees below that, the rating. Another thing that people don't realize is you want some sort of ground pad or something between you and the ground, because the ground is going to absorb your heat. It's going to drain your body heat. So a foam pad, if you don't have that, you can put down other things, but you just don't want your body directly on the ground, because the ground is going to just suck the heat out of your body. Okay. And what I've talked about, you got to keep your body warm. You got to keep your body dry. So, there's mummy sleeping bags, which I'm going to recommend, but you do not want to sleep inside your sleeping bag with your head inside of the sleeping bag. Reason being, whenever you breathe out, you're breathing out condensation. That is going to make the inside of your bag have moisture. Moisture is going to make you cold. You're going to freeze your ass off. So do not sleep with your head inside the sleeping bag. Another thing that I'm going to highly recommend is you sleep with one of these at night, because that is going to keep 90% of your body heat inside your body. Okay. I am going to highly recommend that you sleep either naked or with minimal clothing on. Reason being, if you have a bunch of clothing on, you're thinking that that's keeping you warm. Well, what's going to happen is at night you're going to sweat, whether you realize it or not, and those clothing layers are going to keep that moisture up against your body, and then you're going to end up getting cold. So your best night's sleep, I know you probably don't want to do it, or it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, you will not sleep better in that sleeping bag unless you're sleeping naked, my opinion. But that's the only way that I sleep in a sleeping bag in cold weather. Okay. I would highly recommend, if you're able to, be able to take a shower or clean your body. That way you get all the sweat and salt and all that stuff off your body. That way you sleep better at night. You're just going to be more comfortable. Okay. If someone in your group gets hypothermia, gets exposed to elements, you need to strip them down naked, because you don't want to, if they've gotten wet or whatever, you want all those layers removed. Put them in the sleeping bag naked, and you're going to get in the sleeping bag with them, and body heat is going to help warm that individual up, and you're going to save their life. Okay. Another thing that we ran into, and a lot of people don't think about this, but in the cold weather, you can actually dehydrate. When we were up at Bridgeport, a lot of Marines' canteens and the water ended up freezing. And so people were going down from dehydration because their water bottles turned into solid blocks of ice. So what we would do to combat that is we would sleep with our water. We would just put our canteens at the bottom of our sleeping bag, and your body heat would keep your bottles from freezing at night. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to talk about is going to be stuff that I recommend having in your vehicle, especially if you live. I don't really have to worry as much about this because, well, besides 2 years ago, but we rarely get snow down here and get these types of temperatures. But especially if you live up in the north areas where you get snow, I would really pay attention to this. I would highly recommend having good tires on your vehicle. So, I know some people switch out tires in the wintertime. So just make sure you have good tires. I would have your battery tested because the last thing you want is to be out in the cold and your battery fails. So I would have your battery tested, make sure it's still good. Emergency blankets. Now this will apply with anything. This applies if you're camping or just, if you're in your house. Like, these can be used anywhere, but these are a great thing to have in your vehicle. Couple bucks, you can get them on Amazon, Walmart, you can get these anywhere. They're a couple bucks, probably $2-3. I ordered these last year, but these are actual, there's 2 of them in here, but these are sleeping bags. And what these are is, I'm guessing they're foil. I don't even know what well, it's not foil, but these are gonna repel all your body heat. It's gonna reflect all your body heat. So these things are amazing. These will save your life. It's small, throw it in your glove box, and just know that it's there. Okay. I would have a little bit of food in there, but more importantly, I would have water. But food is going to help your body create energy to keep you warm. So I would highly recommend having food and water, but you can go longer without food. So water for sure, food, probably a good recommendation if you can have it in there. I would have a shovel, that way if you get stranded or go off in the ditch or whatever, you can dig out the snow and possibly get your vehicle out. I would put a tow strap in your vehicle, so that way if you end up sliding off the road or whatever, hopefully someone can pull your vehicle out. So I would have a tow strap. I would have a good flashlight. I don't think I really have to go into the reasons why you need that. Maybe put some hand warmers in there, because like I said, and these you can take camping or whatever, but your extremities are going to get cold first. So it's just nice to have the hand warmers kind of help keep you warm. I would recommend having some blankets or maybe a sleeping bag in your vehicle, depending on if you have room for it. And this is another thing. I buy these all the time. I don't even know how many packs of these I have, but it's like $4 or $5 and it's 7 lighters. So man, throw a pack of these or a couple of these in your vehicle. That way you have a way to start fire and stay warm. But that's going to be good just to have in general. You want to always have multiple ways to start fires. And this is an easy way. You can put one of these in each vehicle, put it in your backpack, bug out bag, whatever. But again, redundancy. So this is the easiest way for you to make fire and stay warm. Okay, this video is getting super long. I think I covered everything that I wanted to. Sorry, I tried to put it together where it wasn't all over the place, but and then I'm trying to rush through it because I know it's a lot of information. But thank you for being here. Thank you for all the new subscribers. If you are subscribed to the channel, please hit the bell notification. That way you're notified of the next one. Please be safe out of there. Please be safe out there and consider getting some of these items. Some of these items I feel are a must and will probably save your life, and a lot of them don't even cost a lot of money. So that's it. Take care. God bless. Thank you again for everyone being here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. One last thing. Never hurts to have security in your vehicle and on you at all times. That's it. Texas Silver out.